Key items. Shareholder agreements, which govern the rights and obligations of shareholders in a company, can also have their fair share of pitfalls and critical issues. Some of the typical challenges and concerns associated with shareholder agreements include lack of clarity and specificity, minority shareholder protection, decision-making processes, transfer of shares, exit strategies, valuation of shares, dispute resolution mechanisms, regulatory and legal compliance, changes in circumstances, lack of clarity and specificity, ambiguity or lack of clarity in the language and terms of the shareholder agreement can lead to misunderstandings and disputes among shareholders. It is crucial to define the rights, responsibilities, and obligations of each shareholder with precision to avoid potential conflicts. Minority shareholder protection. Shareholder agreements should address the protection of minority shareholders' rights. Failure to provide adequate safeguards can lead to situations where majority shareholders exploit their power or make decisions that unfairly disadvantage minority shareholders. Decision-making processes. Determining the decision-making process within the company is a critical aspect of shareholder agreements. Issues may arise if the agreement does not clearly outline voting rights, quorum requirements, decision thresholds, and mechanisms for resolving deadlocks or disputes between shareholders. Transfer of shares. Shareholder agreements should address the transfer of shares, including restrictions on transfers and procedures for approval or consent. Without appropriate provisions, there is a risk of undesirable individuals or entities becoming shareholders, which can impact the control and direction of the company. Exit strategies. Shareholder agreements should include provisions for exit strategies, such as buy-sell provisions or mechanisms for selling shares in the event of disagreements, death, disability, retirement, or other triggering events. Failure to plan for these scenarios can lead to prolonged disputes or difficulties in exiting the company. Valuation of shares. Determining the fair value of shares during buyouts, transfers, or other transactions can be a contentious issue. Shareholder agreements should address the methodology and criteria for valuing shares to ensure transparency and fairness. Dispute resolution mechanisms. In the event of disputes among shareholders, having clear and effective dispute resolution mechanisms is essential. Shareholder agreements should include provisions for mediation, arbitration, or other alternative dispute resolution methods to help resolve conflicts efficiently and cost-effectively. Regulatory and legal compliance. Shareholder agreements must comply with relevant laws, regulations, and corporate governance requirements. Failure to adhere to legal obligations can have severe consequences and may invalidate or impact the enforceability of the agreement. Changes in circumstances. Shareholder agreements should be flexible enough to accommodate changes in the company's structure, operations, or market conditions. Failing to address these changes adequately can lead to outdated or ineffective provisions that no longer serve the best interests of the shareholders. It is crucial for shareholders to seek legal advice and carefully consider these issues when drafting or entering into a shareholder agreement. Each agreement should be tailored to the specific needs and circumstances of the company and its shareholders to ensure fairness, protection, and effective governance.